Okay. We're going to continue. This is a continuation of the previous recording. So apologies, the recording stopped before the end of the time. So we want to start this all over again. What it means is that the end of the last recording ended where we connected our Power BI to our database, and we were able to pull the entire table from the database. So I also demonstrated that it's also possible that instead of pulling the entire database or the entire table from the database, it's also very possible that you pull only the columns that you need from the database, from the table. Instead of getting a table, connecting to the database and pulling a table with 100 or 150 columns, whereby you only need 2 columns or 3 columns to work with. How do you now specify those columns? That is what we want to do. For you to specify those columns, you need to write a structured query language, which is called SQL, that will enable you to specify the columns that you need from the database. So now, let's get started. I have here said that the other time we used the query, or we wrote a query, we said it should select all columns from the database. And because of that, it generated this as a result for us. Now we want the customer P, the first name, the last name. So we say last name. We also want the middle name. We want the middle name, this. We want the email, right? Okay, we want the gender and the address. The gender, which is this. And we also want the email address. So we're going to type email. So you're going to give that to me. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to select only these columns from the table. So I'm going to run that. So you see now that I run this query, it has removed all the columns I don't want and has returned only the specified columns. Then it's possible for me to use this query to specify this query while I'm connecting to my SQL Server in the first instance. You understand? So now let's go back to SQL Server. Let's go back to Power BI and try to connect. But before that, ensure that you copy this. Ensure that you copy this query. Please copy this query. So Control C, copy. Oh, let me copy everything. So I'm going to right click and copy. Then I'm going to go to Power BI environment. Is that clear? Oh, not yet. Hold on. Apply changes. Okay. So I'm going to apply changes. What I did was to delete all the tables I imported before. So, okay, now I have deleted that, and that change has been applied because I've deleted. Then let's get data from SQL Server. You know, we have to specify the server name as usual. Desktop /FQ, or rather F8Q 0 if 47. I'm going to reconfirm that, and this is at Venture Works. Adventure Works. The W is uppercase. DW 2019. Let me reconfirm the name of the server. Let me reconfirm the server name. So the server name is desktop F8Q0E47. F8Q0E47. F8Q0E47, which is correct, desktop. So now, at this point, I'm going to do an import, because the reason why I want to decide to do import is because I want to reduce the number of column I want to import. It is less now, then because of that, I can take the risk of importing this. So what I'll do now is come to advanced, and here where you have SQL statements, you're going to paste what you've copied from the query. The query that you have run that ran successfully, you copy it and paste it here. And let me tell you something, it is not compulsory that you copy and paste here. You can as well write this here, it's going to work. But ensure that the column name, if you start with capital on the database, it should also start with capital here. First name, you can see each of the column names should start, it should be written the same way they appear on the database. Look at it, email address should be this, and the name of the table also. You can see here, you cannot differentiate between the command, which is from, and select, which are the command that you can easily differentiate here because they are colored differently. You can see the color here, blue, and this is blue. Those are commands, and you can't differentiate here. But you know that this command has run successfully on your SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, then it should work here. Include relationship columns. You can put that. Enable SQL Server failover support. Just let's leave it as this default and click on OK. Okay. So it's trying to run the query at the background and show us what the output is. So, okay, it's giving me an error there. Let's see what the error is saying. It's saying that we encountered this error while trying to connect. Error called by connection. Server was not found. I was not accessible. Verify the instance name. Okay, let me see the name of the server. I hope I didn't make mistake again. So server name, desktop, this. Oh, I did not complete this. This is slash SQL Express. So whenever you run into errors like this, try to read the error and see how you can resolve it. So you can see now that the server name is not complete. Based on what we have here, you can see that the server here is end here, SQL Express. I did not include SQL Express. So I'm going to click on OK. So I believe this should work. You now see that instead of it bringing a list of, the other time when I connected without specifying the name of the database, it brought me the list of available database for me to pick from. I went ahead to specify the name of the database. It went ahead also to give me the names of different tables that exist in that database. Now, I have gone to specify a particular table and specify the columns to return from that table. You can see that it has gone ahead also to give me just what I wanted. The customer key, the first name, the last name, the middle name, the gender, and the email address. But because I know this is fine, I don't see any. I don't think there's going to be any issue with any data here. So I'm not going to do any transformation. So I'm going to just do load. Okay. The import was taken on was unnecessarily taking too long. So I want us to try direct query with the query statements that we've copied, and let's see the effect of this. After imputing all of these, the server name, the database, then also I'm going to specify direct query and also going to put in my query statement. Um, Let me click OK. Okay, connect. Okay, an error was detected just because I did not put a slash here. After the there should be a backward slash. Let me click on OK again. Okay, now we have this table. So let me just load directly. Can you see? This is what we specify in the query. Let me load. So let me see the effects. Okay, I think this it's okay. Or creating connection to the data source. So why is creating connection? I'll come back to it. Okay, that connection has been established successfully. And if you look towards my right, you see that the columns are here. So I can do gender, and I can do count of name by gender as well. Gender. By this gender, I can now put a count here. Just give me a count of gender. So meaning that I have, so what this is telling me is I have 9,133 female, and I have 9,351 male. Is that clear? So now, just a brief recap of what we've done so far. We have downloaded and installed SQL Server. We have downloaded and installed SQL Server Management Studio. We have also created, we have also downloaded AdventureWorks database, which is a database for practicing and it's freely available online. So we have connected or tried to restore that database on our SQL Server Management Studio on our server. We have restored it on our server. So we now have that AdventureWorks on our server. We have tested the different types of connect. We have tried to connect to the database using a direct query. We have tried to connect to the database using an import. So we have also explained the difference between import and direct query. We have demonstrated that you can also change from import to direct query or from direct query to import. Then we went ahead on the final note to explain or to discover that it is also possible for you to connect to to your uh, dash dashboard. It's also possible for you to connect to your database by specifying some kind of columns. So it's possible for you to just connect to the entire database without specifying the columns. It's also possible for you to write a simple query, like select the different columns from the table, because it's possible that your table is so large and you don't want to get all the information from that table into the Power BI environment. You just want to restrict the information to only the ones you need. So you're going to select only the ones you need and import into Power BI environment. So by so doing, you specify the columns that you're going to import in the query under the advanced. So with this, we are also going to demonstrate now how to connect Power BI to Python and to R. Okay, so for us to connect to Python, I will first of all install Python on my system. So what I initially did was to uninstall the Python compiler that I have on my system. So I'll go onto Python and try to install Python. Python download. Let me see Python download. You can see www.python. So I'm going to install the most recent version of Python, which is 3.92. So you're going to install the most recent version. So I'm going to download this as well. So let me download now so you can see downloading. So I'm going to save it. It's saved. You can see it's downloading just 27 MB. So that will download very fast. So after downloading that, you're going to install it. So we're going to use it to run some basic queries. Then after that, then I'm going to show you how to now connect Power BI to it. Now that we have it downloaded, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on it for me to install this on the system. So you can see install now, customize, install, custom installation. So let me just do install now. So this is going to be very fast. So you can see here it's saying setup was successful. Setup was successful. So let me close this and let's now open up. Let's open it up. Let me go back to my system. You can see it's saying new application. So I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to click on this so that I open up Python. So this is Python. So you can as well use an Anaconda, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to just use this Python compiler. Of course, if you want to do intense, we want to do data analysis by using other modules like NumPy, pandas, and the rest. You will probably use an Anaconda uh, version, which will contain all of these packages that you have pre-installed. So for example, if I have 1+1, the compiler will run it and give me answer. If I click on enter to give me 2, meaning 1+1 is 2. If I say ade, so anytime you want to specify a string, you start with this quotation. If I say ade plus and maybe this Shola, so let me create. It's gonna give me error because it's saying type error, unsupported operand type for this string and string. Is that clear? So let me change this one to, let me change it to this. That shouldn't be the issue. So now what do we want to do? We want to do some things. For example, we want to create a data set. We want to create a data set. And for us to do that, we need to run some queries. So I'm going to go into my system and look for a query that I have written before. because the essence of this is not to teach you, it's not to teach you how to use Python. It's just it's just teaching you how to connect Power BI to Python. So we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty of trying to tell you why some things are like that. For example, uh, okay, so I'm going to bring up some query I've written here, Power Python and Power BI. Okay, so let me see. Okay, let me open this. Oh, sorry, this will open up this. So in this file that I'm going to be sharing with you, I have Power BI and Python. So here I have some Python script I have written. So that's what I'm going to show you, or that's what I'm going to give to you. So here I have a script, a Python script. If you look at it, this is import pandas. Pandas is converting. What pandas will do for you is to convert your data into data frame, or to convert your list into a data frame. So this is a list. A list, or let me just say, is a dictionary. We call them dictionary. Dictionary is, it has an index and a reference. So of course, if you want to learn more about this, that is a different thing entirely. So I'm going to copy this and run that. So but first, I'm going to copy them one after the other. So I'm going to do this. So I come to this point, paste it here, import pandas as PD, and click on enter. So it's saying no module name pandas. It's saying no module name pandas because pandas has not been installed. So how do I get pandas installed? So I come to CMD, nice command prompt. So I try to import pandas here. So I say pip install pandas. So let me see if this is going to install pandas for me. The system cannot find the file specified. Okay, seems this should not be there. Yes, I think that was typing error. But launcher unable to create process using. Okay, so okay, okay. The install was single. Let me try all this. Is it a spelling of install? Let me try it. See. Um, hello. Okay, so I have install here. This is the install with a single L. So let me try and click on enter if that will launch. This one cannot find the file specified. Create the process using pandas. Okay, let me try and check what